What's up, guys? Welcome to video number 2 of Mullins Raw Fitness. Talking about Paul Chek's 6 foundation principles of optimal health. Today, as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about breathing. We never really think of breathing as being an important aspect of health, wellness, fitness, whatever your goal is. But breathing is absolutely the primary nutrient of life. Okay, you can go weeks without food. You know, we talk about nutrients, we talk about the macro and micronutrients, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, all that. You can go weeks without that and still survive. You can go days without water, but you can only go minutes without breathing. Don't try it at home though, okay? After, you hold your breath for about 4 minutes, you can't breathe for about 4 minutes, you may die, your brain may not work, the same again, and that's never good, right? So we breathe about 25,000 breaths a day, and think if we have dysfunctional breathing patterns, that's a lot of mistakes we have going on every day. 25,000 times we could be doing something wrong, which could be affecting our body in a negative way, and that's not good, right? So some of the things breathing is important for when it comes to health: cellular metabolism, okay? And what that is looking at the cellular level in the cells, by the cells breaking down substances that for energy that are vitally important for life-sustaining processes. So what I mean by that, is your cells have to break down nutrients and everything that they're getting in and utilize it to make energy, for whatever bodily system it is, to produce and be highly functional. And again, say you're trying to lose weight and your body can't produce hormones, your body can't produce fat burning hormones properly because you're not getting enough breath. Your cells can't metabolize the energy and everything and the nutrients that they're getting. That's a big problem, right? The second is detox. Okay, breathing is actually one of the best ways to detoxify your body. It's part of the detoxification system. And when we do that, it removes a lot of the waste products from the cells, from the body, which is very, very important. And we look at our pH balance a lot of times from poor diet, mainly in stress. We have poor pH balance. We're very acidic. So breathing will help become more alkaline, which is very, very important for our health. And kind of as I mentioned before, better functioning bodily systems. Okay, we want our cells, we want to be able to produce hormones in the right manner. We want to be able to do everything. We want to be able to digest food. We want to be able to get all the nutrients from the food. We want to be able to eliminate the food, get all the excess toxins out of us. And we cannot do that if our cells are not functioning properly. And one of the best ways to do that is to making sure we are breathing correctly. Hugely important, guys. Very, very important when it comes to your overall health. So we always look at breathing. We never really think too much about it, but when we breathe, we just go through the process, but we never really think and look at what breathing really is. So breathing is accompanied by inhalation and exhalation. Okay, inhalation. If you notice what my body's doing, I'm expressing myself. I'm getting longer. I'm getting out of the fetal position, right? So I'm getting into extension. Inhalation is accompanied with the movements of extension, abduction, and supination. Okay, opening the body up, which actually many of us are weakened, and a lot of that is because we have poor breathing mechanics. Okay, most of us are always slouched like this, which if you notice is what's associated with exhalation. Okay, so exhalation, when we're you watch a kid at a dinner table, he has the straw with a little wrap around it, and you notice what my body does when I blow that out. My body caves in. I go back to the fetal position, right? So I go into pronation, flexion, adduction. Okay, I come back into fetal. This is where most of us, are here all day long. Okay, we're not getting proper oxygen. We're not getting proper ability to inhalate. We're not getting enough oxygen there. So we're always in an exhalation state. We're always slouch forward, flexion, pronation. It's a big problem here, especially here in America. So something we really have to look at our breath. when you breathe, it may be hard for you to notice, but you can kind of do it, as I inhale, I'm getting longer, I'm lengthening the spine. When I lengthen the spine, it puts some slight pressure onto the disc, okay? And when that happens, I'm losing the curvature of the spine. So instead of having natural cervical, thoracic, and lumbar curvature, as I inhale, I'm actually decreasing that, okay? And then it's when I exhale, I soften the vertebrae, I shorten the spine back, okay? So the inhalation, exhalation, it's a rhythmic pattern that massages the spine, massages the organs of the body, and what that does is that massaging, that rhythmic movement, okay, because your organs, your vertebrae are just like your muscles, they need exercise and movement too, helps kind of pump fluid in and out, and energy in and out of the organs and the vertebrae in order for it to maintain optimal health. So again, if we're not breathing properly, our bodily functions, our spine, our vertebrae are not functioning as well as they should. We can cause all types of problems. Okay, so looking at some other dysfunctions when it comes to breathing, things we deal with, according to Dan Hellman's book, Heavy Breathing, we should be breathing about 6 to 10 breaths per minute. Personally, working with a lot of clients, I've seen majority people out there have a big issue with that, and they're breathing 20, 25, 30 times a minute, which is a lot. I mean, you got to think that's almost triple the amount of what we should be doing. So, if you look, if I'm getting that many breaths, what am I doing? I'm hyperventilating. I'm over consuming, the oxygen. I'm not getting enough carbon dioxide back out. And what this is it causes a sympathetic response in the body, the autonomic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous aspect of the nervous system deals with fight and flight. So if you're hyperventilating all day, your body's constantly thinking it's running for its life, or trying to fight a tiger, right? And you could just be going through your everyday activities, even if you're not stressed. And it usually stems from something that's happened previous in your life, or just having anxiety issues or poor just breathing mechanics. It can actually cause more anxiety from the hyperventilation. And anytime your sympathetic nervous system is activated, your parasympathetic nervous system is inhibited, meaning it's not functioning because. So your parasympathetic, deals with like your rest and digest. So looking at digesting food, eliminating food, bringing, detoxifying the body. If you are, if your parasympathetic nervous system isn't activating all day long because you're having a huge sympathetic nervous system response, meaning your body's constantly in a fight or flight mode from your breathing mechanics, means you're producing stress hormones all day long from that. And not only that, your daily normal, parasympathetic movements, which are things that happen in your body that you don't consciously do. So you don't tell your body to digest your food; it just already does it. That's your parasympathetic nervous system in action. And when that's happening, so say your parasympathetic is not working properly because your faulty breathing mechanics. You're not digesting your food properly. You're not getting enough nutrients. Your body's full of toxins because you can't detoxify your body. Because your detoxification system can't work properly. You're not eliminating your food, so more toxins are sitting in your colon, which aren't coming out because you're not getting enough breath, throughout the day, or breathing right, and detoxifying your body that way. So it's a vicious cycle. So it's never ending. You have all those toxins inside your body. You're not digesting enough nutrients. That's a horrible combination for health, fitness, and especially stuff like weight loss. So that's really something to look at. And most people that have dysfunctional breathing patterns have sleep patterns or sleep issues. We'll talk about that when we go over sleep. But again, we're sympathetic dominant, with this breathing pattern, which can be very, very difficult to have good sleep habits because stress hormones are being produced all day. And there's an hour. Cortisol has a shelf life of, half shelf life of about 6 hours. So you're breathing up till you go to bed. That can be a bad mix for trying to get good sleep. And then we look at posture. Okay. usually, it starts with a tragedy or fear, anxiety, something that and when we see fear, feel fear, our abdomen tightens up. Okay, our abs get really, really tight, and you may have noticed that before. And so what happens? You try to take a big deep breath with your abs really tight. It's really hard. So what will happen is your body will start relying on other secondary muscles to breathing, which again, then that's a faulty breathing pattern. So you'll start using your shoulders, your neck, all these little muscles that aren't meant to be the primary breathing muscles. Your diaphragm is supposed to, but if it's locked up in position from fear, you're going to have a lot of blockages and you're not going to be able to breathe properly. And so what happens here is you start to develop shallow breaths. Okay, now you're not getting enough nutrients, enough oxygen. You have shallow breaths. You're overdeveloped in these muscles in here, in the neck, the pec minor, all these muscles that are here, and they pull your head forward. Okay, they round the shoulders, and I'm sure you guys have seen this plenty of times. You had this with our sedentary lifestyle. It's a bad mix. Okay, so your body will always, every time your head goes forward, your pelvis has to shift to stay under your head. Okay, that's just how your body works. And if I'm in this position, it may be hard to tell from the video, but what happens is I lose the curvature of my lumbar spine. I'm supposed to have a curvature in the lumbar spine, so my lower back all of a sudden now has no curve in it. Now all of a sudden my discs are being smashed together, and I'm constantly in like that all day. And all of a sudden now I have a disc bulge, and I go to the doctor, chiropractor, and they're like, oh, you have back issues, when really it all started from your poor breathing mechanics, So again, guys, it's all correlated. As I said in the last video, everything is together. Your mental, emotional state, your physical state, your spiritual state. Everything is your nutrition. Everything is associated with each other, and you can't have one without the other because they all kind of go together. So we got our raw 5-step action plan for breathing. Again, I'm gonna go over a. After this, I'm gonna do a demonstration of the exercise that I'd like you guys to do. That'll really benefit you. But I'm gonna go over the 5-step action plan first. First one is breathe in through your nose. Okay, your nose has a parasympathetic response. When you breathe in through your nose, there's endings there. So as I breathe, instead of the fight or flight action, I'm going to have my proper breathing mechanic, calm, relax, bring, energy to the body as I breathe in through the nose. So breathing in through the nose is very, very important. You breathe in through, you hyperventilate all the time. That's a sympathetic response. But also when you breathe in through your mouth, that's also a sympathetic nervous system response. So again, we always want to breathe through our nose. Diaphragmatic breathing, I briefly said something about it, but the first 2/3 of your breath should come from your belly. Okay? So as you're breathing, you can have one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. We'll talk a little bit about this in the exercise, but you should notice the first 2/3 of it should come from the belly. Most of you probably struggle with that, and the last third should come from your breath. That's your diaphragm breathing. That's how you naturally should breathe. Again, according to Dan Hellman's book, we should breathe about 6 to 10 breaths per minute. So what I would do is when we're doing our exercise, practice it. Try to slow your breathing rate down. You'll be surprised that your blood pressure, things of that nature will start to improve because you're breathing naturally and how you should. So 6 to 10 per minute. Practice that. Try to get in that range. When I do it, I usually get about 9 or 10. So what we'll do is when I show you the exercises, do it for 5 minutes before bed. Like I mentioned with the sleep problems, when we're dealing with our breathing in a dysfunctional pattern, we have a sympathetic response, our body producing stress hormones. It's going to be hard to go to bed. So this will actually help you improve your sleep dramatically. Okay, it is doing these exercises, do them for 3 to 5 minutes before you go to bed. Just focus on your breath, focus on diaphragmatic breathing through the nose, and you'll do worlds for your sleep habits. And the last one is be aware during stress. Okay, when you go through stressful situations, events, anything going on in life, you're stressed out, pay attention to how you're breathing. You may notice you're shallow breathing, you're breathing with your neck, your chest, and try to fix it. Try to make a conscious effort. You may feel, oh man, I'm going to have to do this all day long. And you're not going to remember every time, and that's fine, but try to make a conscious effort as best you can that when you are in a stressful situation, change your habits, retrain the nervous system, reprogram the nervous system on how you should do it, and focus on these things. Try to focus on slow breathing, try to focus on in through the nose, breathe through the belly, and you'll be surprised at how much easier you'll be able to handle these stressful situations and how less stress you get, which we all want that, right? We all love a stress-free life, you know, and a stress-free life is well on your way to looking at the foundation principles and looking at your health and improving yourself from today. So thanks, guys. Here's the video for the exercise, and I look forward to seeing you in video number 3.